So what do you know? Another train. Going around and around and around. And Lee was over here and watched it quite a while it was running. Followed around and around the track. Makes its own noise. Makes smoke. You put some oil in it. But put it way over in there. Bring it way in here. Pretty good old train. It's new. It's not used. It's not second-hand. It's new. Yeah. Did all right. Well, I guess that's about long enough to get a glimpse of it. See, that come in for Christmas. Well, that come in for Christmas. Santa Claus left that. Santa Claus left that also, you say. That's from Roger's family. It's a good bit bigger than the one I had. I gave my husband some money. Well, she didn't have one. I didn't need all these televisions. But fella's got to have something to keep him out of trouble. Back to the train. It's not in high gear, it's just sort of drifting along at a slow speed. It'll really go fast if you want it to. I don't know if I don't need that big room and put them all on firewood. So I guess we'll say bye-bye to this train for this time. And we'll get some others out here someday. Where's it at? Yeah, we had another train wreck, I think. Oh, there he goes. He went over yonder. Stopped some cause or other. And this little one here, I don't know why he stopped. Well, going backwards again. Now he's going frontwards again. I guess it takes more than one engineer to run all of them. That one, he don't run. He just broke, I guess. He don't run. This one, he's pretty good at train. I didn't see why they don't run. I don't know. No cooperation out of what it is. I don't know why. That's my old pride and joy sitting over there. Well, had another train wreck, I guess. Guess I'll have to stop and work on the railroad track. Old Faithful, he belongs to Roger. He comes from, I don't know, South Carolina or someplace a long ways back. That one comes from Canada, right there. Now, boy riding on top of these old trains. But regardless how far you set back on the old train, 15 or 20 cars or 30, that old ash out of the smokestacks would come back and get in your hair. Your old hair would be just filthy with that old black ash in your hair. But, I mean, it was fun riding them things. Sometimes it wasn't very funny, but the cops couldn't take you off of them because the people in the cities didn't want you around there. They had all the hobos they wanted anyhow. They didn't need any more, but you can't blame them for not wanting people to get off of the train. Sometimes there'd be 3 or 4 in a family, the husband and wife, and a kid or two. That would be riding these old trains, trying to get into Arizona or someplace. We rode them for the pleasure of it, just to be riding something different. We didn't work steady. We didn't think there's any need of it, but we'd work enough to get spending money in the pocket, and we'd just take off and go someplace else. And we was going through El Paso one time, and we asked them guys where's the best place to catch freight out of El Paso. And they said, well, walk up the hill. It's only about a mile up there. And said, when you get up there, it said the old train is going very slow up that hill. And said, it's easy to catch. Well, we walked up the hill there, and when that train come by, it must have been going 30, 40 miles an hour. But we didn't catch it. So we hung around there for a while, and finally we caught one, and caught the wrong one. It went up the border next to old Mexico, and we got up Nogales, Arizona, or New Mexico, whichever it was, and Border Patrol got old Johnny Domingo. Oh, mercy, old Johnny, he's about to throw a shoe. And the sign is, I'm not a Mexican, I'm Italian. Can't you tell the difference between a Mexican and an Italian? And finally they let him go, you know. And we went on into Tucson, Arizona on that freight train, and so we going to catch one out. And back to Lordsburg, New Mexico, and then we'd have to hitchhike across to Duncan, Arizona, where we wanted to go. And, well, sure enough, we caught the freight train out, and that night, I mean, it snowed like nobody's business, and us up on top of that old thing, about to freeze to death. We stayed with it, and we got the next day and got to Lordsburg, and I jumped off, and I said, I'll find out if this is where we're going. And Johnny said, well, I'll hang on to the bedroll and stay on the train. And I waved for him to get off in Lordsburg, New Mexico, and he thought I waved for him to stay on. And finally he realized that I wasn't going to catch that train with him. And so he jumped off, bedroll and all, and kindly rolled a few feet after he hit the ground. But we always had a lot of fun riding these trains, and you know, but I mean, there wasn't no money in it, and I don't know, we just had a lot of fun. And finally old Johnny said, well, I'm going to go home and marry old Pearl. That was his wife he got today. Her folks worked for Johnny's folks on the farm. He said, I'm going home and marry old Pearl. And the Army took me, and that ended all of the hoboing around for us two old buddies. But, I mean, life was worth it. I mean, we never was in trouble or nothing like that. But we enjoyed life, being teenagers, or a little older teenagers, I imagine, by that time. But we enjoyed life, that is, to the fullest. And he come home, married old Pearl, and the Army took me, and there was no more freight train riding whatsoever for anybody, as far as I know, that was in our acquaintance. But lots of people in that day and that time rode them old trains, that is, by the dozen, going to California or someplace, that is, seeking a place of employment. It was cheap transportation, but was sometimes it didn't turn out that way, you know. But fellas got to enjoy life doing something, and that's what we done, is hop them old freight trains and go to here to yonder, and back again, and never was in trouble, but we enjoyed life. As far as life was concerned back in that day, and we didn't have nothing. There wasn't nothing to have. We could pick cotton if we wanted to, but that's hard work. And we wouldn't stay with a cotton patch or pick fruit or work on the farm. One time we worked on a farm in Duncan, Arizona there, and we worked from the sun up to sundown, and at night we'd have to wash dishes. And that was all for $30 a month, and we decided 30 days was enough of that. And we'd go on and try something else. But we was never broke. We never had to bum food like a lot of people riding freight trains, but we have enough spending money to buy some donut or something on the road. But we spent a lot of time in New Mexico and in Arizona. Life was good to us, and I wouldn't take a million for what we went through, the experience we went through, and it's about like this old machine that's sitting here today. When we played that old record of Monroe Wells back in the 1930s about Heavenly Sunshine, he said, well, let's have some music and it'll sound a little bit better. Well, that was recorded back in the 30s. And it's still good, that is, today. Thank the Lord for everything that we have today. I have. to enjoy, even if I can't keep all of these trains running at the same time on their own track. But some cause or rather, trains always have their way. They have wrecks, and they do this thing, but someday old Trevor will be down here, and he can do the same thing as I do, wreck them up. Other kids come by to see these things. They don't know what they are, because, in fact, grown people have never seen many of these things. Those steam engine things work on the actual railroad track. But the things that we have today is the things we got to be appreciated for, these old tractors. And there's a John Deere tractor, and there's another tractor, and there's a tractor, and there's an old Jeep. That's 39 years old, I assume, old as Dwight is. It belongs to him, and these other tractors, they just collection. And I bought that in Odessa, and that one in Odessa, and I just like tractors as well as I like trains. That's about the end of my story here on a Sunday afternoon, to rejoice in the Lord and thank God that we're still able to enjoy things that happened 100 years ago. That's the way life is today, and live and rejoice in it.